Africa should invest more in scientific research to gain knowledge on the achievement of the continent's economic and social development. This is according to the Africa Population and Health Research Center, which says sub-Saharan Africa contributes just 1% of global scientific products.
Despite Africa being a significant source of research, its global contribution is still low. African Population and Health Research Center Executive Director Dr. Catherine Yomutungi says there is need for African governments to invest in economic and social empowerment.
What we're asking the government of Kenya, what we're asking African governments, is to recognize that development, social and economic development, is not a precursor to investments in R&D. That actually R&D investments are catalytic and drivers of economic and social development.
And so local investment in research is so critical, and we really cannot move forward to that. So African governments, we need to recognize that that's where the future growth of the continent lies.
Dr. Mukumbi notes that the stability of the sector will create millions of jobs and elevate the place of African scientists and research institutions in the global marketplace of ideas and influence.
The current research system, the research process, does not allow for the engagement between decision makers who need evidence and researchers who are producing the evidence, because the funding cycle for research, the cycle for research itself, is not always aligned with decision making.
Africa's problem sits with us here in Africa, but the way research is funded oftentimes does not allow researchers on the continent to ask the types of questions that need to be answered in order to move us forward.
Science for Africa Foundation Executive Director Tom Kariuki, on his part, noted that solutions to health and development in Africa solely rely on Africa-led research backed up with proper policy and legal frameworks.
Some of the great ideas we receive, our budgets are not sufficient to give everybody. But we end up with some very great innovations that are coming out based on the investment we have made.
The meetings that go on, the conferences we have, how can we change them to make sure that we've allowed women to come as they are, to bring their perspectives, bring their lived experiences to the discussion, to the research that's being conducted.
The scientist was speaking during the commemoration of African Population and Health Research Center 20th anniversary. Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.